Hello everyone, and the Mercenary and Commando 3.0 skill trees, or disciplines should we say, have been released, and let's take a little look at them now. So what are we getting? So all mercenaries are, I'm going to use the Merc for this first of all. I'm going to use the Merc because that's what we've mained throughout 3.0, and it's sad, it's kind of sad that we won't be really playing this much in 3.0. Going to main a Scoundrel Healer, I've decided pretty much that I'm going to main a Scoundrel Healer. I'm going to go Republic for once. I've been on the Empire for so long, and we've, been a Merc Healer since EVHM was progression. Way back then, a long time I've been a Merc Healer. I've been a Merc Healer all the time. I did switch to a Sniper for the end of the expansion, well, the end of the initial run of SWTOR. So for this expansion, we've been a Merc Healer for most of it. And I quite like it. It is an awesome healing class. It is probably my favourite healing class, I have to say, overall. We just have that perfect balance of single target burst healing. We don't have on-demand burst because our burst has heavy cooldowns, so we're not quite as on-demand as the Scoundrel. I mean, the Scoundrel has on-demand burst for as long as they have upper hand, and they have upper hand. They're never short of upper hand, should I say. They're never lacking for upper hand. You're always trying to dump upper hand, I'm finding, as a Scoundrel rather than generate it. I always find it's so easy to generate. Right, so let's get on with this. What are we getting? All Mercs are getting advanced targeting, which unload blazing bolts, rail shot, mag shot, ignore 30% of the target's armor, and increases the critical chance of healing scan and emergency scan by 5%. And all critical results, so it's basically all of those utility skills. All critical results with damage or healing increase alacrity by 3%. So it's basically a bunch of skills all rolled into one, essentially. And everybody used to take that one. I can't remember what it was called. It used to give you accuracy as well. I think it was still advanced targeting. But it used to give you accuracy and ignore the target's armor. So they're just rolling everything into the one skill and giving all mercs that. So I guess it's fine. We're also getting upgraded Arsenal, which again reduces the pushback of our... Does it reduce the pushback of our heals? It doesn't say here. I assume the pushback of our heals will be reduced as well. So it's reducing, it's all our damage things like Power Shot, Tracer Missile, Concussion Missile, Fusion Missile, Serrated Shot. Yeah, it's most of them. And our support cylinders, of course. Combat support increases our crit chance. This is all in the game currently right now. It's just all been put into the one skill, so this is all just current stuff. Supercharge, what we're getting is all classes are getting supercharged now. So it's just, this was a thing that was exclusive to the healer. Your rapid shots, your rapid scan would generate stacks of supercharge. So it's now been reduced from 30 to 10. Although each thing only stacks one time. It used to be, I think it was 3. I think it's still the same. It's actually the same. They're just lowering the scale because it used to be 3 and it used to go to 30. Now it's just 1 and it goes to 10. So the scale is different, but it's just the same. So you know that. Colto shot. Also, we are getting a new heal, new single target heal. We'll cover that in the healer one, but yeah. So this is the same. If you've been a Merc healer, pretty much the same. But the changes to supercharged gas is when we pop supercharged gas, of course, it converts 10 stacks or supercharge, it vents 10 heats, and empowers our active cylinder. Combat support is pretty much the same, increases healing done by 5%, and healing scan has no cooldown, and it generates less heat. What's not stated here is if that we're losing the shield that we get from Colto Missile. Because it used to be if we popped supercharged gas and fired Colto Missile, the targets that were affected by Colto Missile would get a shield around them. I don't know if they're removing that. I don't know, because it's not stated here. Combustible gas cylinder increases your periodic damage. This is the new thing. Increasing periodic damage and causes your next successful ranged attack on a target affected by your incendiary missile to apply a supercharged burn to the target. So you're getting an extra dot, essentially, and your dots are being increased by 10%. So you're going to use this a bit like Weakening Blast in that spec. It's going to be a bit like that, and it's going to be a bit like Death Field as well. So you're going to have that, basically you're going to generate your stacks, get that on cooldown, get the combustible gas on cooldown, and then you can apply your dots, or you're going to reapply your dots, should I say, after that, because it's going to increase your damage, your dot damage. So it's pretty much, they're bringing it in line with other dot specs like Madness and Virulence now, which is the old lethality one, so that's pretty interesting to see. What do we get in High Velocity Gas Cylinder? Increases armor penetration by 10%, 10 seconds, damage dealt by Tracer Missile, Heat Seeker Missile, Blazing Bolts, Priming Shot, grants Supercharged Velocity, which increases Alacrity by 1%. Boring. Seems a bit boring. The other one, you know, Combustible one's giving you 10% damage on your dots for 10 seconds. You know, and it's getting a Supercharged Burn. This one you're getting Armor Penetration and Alacrity. It's a bit boring. Also, we're getting a new thing. We're getting Supercharged Clarity, which is a raid cooldown, which again increases Alacrity of all group members by 10% for 10 seconds. So yeah, and the biggest change, we'll talk about healing now. The biggest change for the Bodyguard spec is that we are getting an additional keybind essentially for our healing. Rapid shots will not heal friendly targets. We're getting Colto Shot instead. I don't see the point in this personally. I really do not see the point in this, to be honest with you. It was nice to switch between healing a friendly target and healing an enemy target with the same keybind. It's just going to give us an extra button to press. Again, makes it feel a bit clumsy. They really, maybe they don't want us doing kind of off damage, off DPS, fine, but you know, it was one key that did two things, and now it's two keys that we have, so it's an extra keybind that we have to have. Goodbye Missile Blast, that's all I can say. That's finally getting off the key bindings. And so I guess we have to have one as Colto Scan and two maybe as Colto Shot and two as Rapid Shots. That's, to me, that feels a bit clumsy. I don't like that change, to be honest with you. Again, it's just giving us more key bindings, which we don't want. We do not want more key bindings. That's the last thing we want as a merc, is to have more things to keybind, because we're just going to take useless things away. The Mercenary is currently, I think, one of the most bloated classes in terms of abilities. A lot of things are useless right now. I mean, a lot of things like, what is it, Fusion Missile, Missile Blast, they're pretty damn useless at the moment. They're just not heat efficient, and they don't do enough damage. That's the problem with them right now. So what are we getting in the Bodyguard? We are getting... So yeah, we're getting Rapid Scan, Colto Missile, Colto Shell, Colto Missile, heals 8 targets now. That's a good change. Oh yeah, that's what we want. So yeah, Rapid Scan, Colto Missile, Colto Shell are only available to the Bodyguard now. Only going to be available in Healer Spec right now. That is, again, interesting. They're kind of nerfing off-spec healing for the Merc, because 2.0 they made Colto Missile available to all Mercs of, you know, regardless of your skill tree, because it was originally a Bodyguard skill tree. It was a skill that you could learn in the Bodyguard. So yeah, I mean, again, Colto Shell was always the same. So Colto Missile will heal 8 targets now. There's no mention here of whether I haven't actually seen the actual tree. I'm just reading it off the front of the website, so I don't know if we're losing the Colto pools that we get of the heals over time. Maybe we'll lose that, who knows. But I haven't actually seen the Merc discipline tree yet, so apologies for that. I will get a look at that and we'll have a little look. We might build a Merc healer actually, if I can find a build thing for it. So yeah, we're getting Progressive Scan, heals a friendly target. So it's going to heal a friendly target over the channel duration, and heals one new friendly target within 20 meters of each tick, and it heals up to 4 targets with the final tick. So we're getting another AoE heal. Maybe this is to make up for the lack of Colto pools. Maybe this is what this is going to do. It seems a lot like Chain Heal. If you ever played a Shaman Healer in WoW, I know I've leveled a Shaman Healer, and it seems a lot like Chain Heal, although it is a little bit different. It's gonna heal more targets with each tick. So it's gonna be, what, 4 ticks? Or is it gonna be more than 4 ticks? Because it's 1 tick, it heals an additional target. So that's going to be, so the final tick is going to be 4, so it's going to stack up to 4 times. So you're probably going to use this on the tank and probably the melee DPS of what it's going to heal. So if you've got melee DPS, it's going to be quite a melee friendly heal, because you're probably going to channel on the tank. Kind of what you do with healing trance as a sage. So again, it's a nice little heal. I asked for a totem, they gave us chain heal, so well, I guess pretty interesting. So let's move on to Arsenal. What are we getting for Arsenal? We are getting priming shot. Priming shot fires a priming shot, deals weapon damage, successfully hits the target, allows a tracer missile to be used instantly. Ah, interesting. So we're going to be standing still a lot less at least, so we can use priming shot and then use tracer missile. It doesn't say whether it's a channeled ability or whether it's going to be have a cast time. It doesn't say here on the website, I don't know, but again, should give us a bit more mobility. We also have blazing bolts, which is just going to replace unload. You can use this on the move with a utility skill. That's another thing that was revealed before. Again, pretty nice. So we're getting mobility in Arsenal, because that was always a big problem. I mean, I just leveled a commando in the middle skill tree spec, and it was boring as hell. You were just channeling full auto all the time, basically, because full auto is your main source of damage. So you're just like full auto, tracer missile, demo round, back to full auto again. And I was like, it was kind of boring, and you were standing still a lot. So it's nice to see that we're getting a little bit of mobility. At least it seems that we're getting a bit of mobility. What have we got? Innovative ordnance. I preferred pyrotech, to be honest. Pyrotech sounded cooler. Pyrotech sounded like you were a crazed pyromaniac. Kind of like the pyro from Team Fortress 2. I always thought that was what a pyrotech was. You were just a burning, or you want to burn things. You were a, what was it called again? A pyromaniac. Maybe that's what they should have called it instead of innovative ordnance. That's awful to say. I'm just gonna call it pyro in 3.0. Most people just refer to it as pyro. I mean, don't call it innovative ordnance. Come on, we wanna shorthand things here, people. Come on, BioWare. Seriously, that's what you're gonna call it? Right. So what are we getting? We're getting serrated shot. Fires special serrated blaster bolts at the target. Ooh, and cause the target to bleed for internal damage. We're bleeding things and not burning things. Ooh, interesting. I want to burn stuff. And we're getting mag shot, which is a replacement for rail shot, I guess. I don't know, why don't they just get rid of rail shot? Is it going to actually replace rail shot? Because it says it shares a cooldown with rail shot, so I guess you'll just swap rail shot for mag shot in your key bindings, I guess. I don't know. Rail shot was always the key. You wanted to get as many rail shots as possible. Off was always the way to go for pyro, or innovative ordnance as it's known. So yeah, they are making them a bit more mobile now, so that should help us a little bit in PvP. Again, because that was always our problem, that we had to stand still a lot to fire off a lot of our things, and we were just sitting ducks in PvP. So giving us that little bit of mobility. So the utilities, what are we getting utility wise? We're getting Supercharged Reserve, which reduces the cooldown of Cure and Disabling Shot by 3 seconds. You're going to take that. Yep, you're going to take that, definitely. As a healer, Cure is of course your what is it? It's your cleanse. I was gonna say purge, but it's not. Purge is the thing you use on yourself. Cleanse you can use on other targets. That's the difference. So dots are no longer going to be cleansable in PvP, which is interesting. So you can build 10 stacks of supercharge over the course of recharge and reload with this. Again, you are going to take this. It's not really a choice. This is one you're definitely gonna take. Yeah, because you are going to be, before the fight, you're going to be recharge and reload before the ready check, because you're going to want to start with 10 stacks of supercharge, especially if you are dot spec. If you're pyro spec, yeah, or innovative ordnance as it's known. I don't like that name. You can tell I don't like that name. So you're going to do that. That's what you're going to do. You're definitely going to channel that. You're going to pop your combustible gas, then put your dots on, because it's going to be similar to or put your dots on and then pop combustible gas, I guess. But so we know how it's gonna play. We know how it's gonna play really from reading this. Again, I don't know about Arsenal. Maybe you probably will want to have it on, I guess, because again it increases the damage dealt by 10%. Why wouldn't you want that? I mean, at the pool, everything is available, I guess. Everything's available, so you're going to do a lot of damage at the pool at this rate. It's going to increase our burst damage, so again it's being brought in line more with the other dot specs, which is good. It's pretty good. There's nothing to spread the dots though, which the snipers are getting. The snipers are getting something to spread out the dots, and the Vigilance Guardian is getting a thing that spreads dots. So there's nothing in there to spread it for multi-dotting, so I don't know about that. The other one is Thrill of the Hunt, which allows Unload, Blazing Bolts, and Progressive Scan to be activated while moving. Again, gonna be situational, I guess. I mean, we can look at these changes. One of the things about these changes is we can take a look at them and we can say what the fights are going to be like in 3.0. We can have a guess. I'm guessing a lot of them are going to be movement based, because we're seeing a lot of movements. The Sorcerer's getting a move and cast. The Pyrotech, the Mercenary is getting a move and cast now. So we can guess by a lot of these encounters are going to involve movement, because if we can cast things on the move, they're going to design encounters around that. I can guarantee you that. So again, should you take it? We'll have to see what the encounters bring. It's going to be a thing. You're going to have to wait until we play it. But you're definitely going to take Supercharged Reserves. It's you. There's no reason you won't take it, really, because again, especially for healing and for the dot spec, definitely you're going to take that. Certainly, I mean, 10% to all your dots, you want that, definitely. That's, again, bringing it in line with the other dot specs, which is good. So overall, I would say positive changes to the Merc. I'm pretty happy with them, to be honest with you. Need to play them to see how they play, see how the rotation works. Again, it's just going to be something you're going to have to play around with. It's going to be the most fun part about 3.0 is playing around with the utilities. Is going to be fun for a few weeks, because no one will know what the best is. Although I can tell you just from reading that Supercharged Reserves is a must take. There's no reason you're not going to. So that's all for this video, so thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.